Hey everyone, so I want to talk about some reasons why your fish may be dying. This could be after you just get them, put them in. A few days later, you find them dead, or they just disappear altogether. Or it could be a fish that you've had for a while, just all of a sudden keep on disappearing on you and keep on dying. Uh, yeah. So first thing is, now this would be for new fish, is if you do not acclimatize them. If you just took the bag of bag of water with your fish in it and dumped it into your tank, and a few days later you find them dead, good chances are it's because you did not acclimate them correctly whatsoever. You should add in the water from the fish tank into your bag slowly, and so when you just take the bag and dump it into the fish tank, problems with that are is your parameters are most likely going to be way different from the water that's in your tank to the water that's in the bag itself. So that could be anything from the pH, the temperature is a big one. You might even have some ammonia in one or the other. Uh, and all these things can stress out the fish. Things like temperature, especially if it's a giant range of temperature. So you say your tank is at 80 degrees and the bag is only like 72 degrees. That 8-degree difference will put your fish into shock and will probably end up killing your fish. So if you did not acclimate your fish before putting them into your new tank, chances are that is why your fish keep on dying on you. Your new fish keep dying on you. Second reason could be, and these are in no particular order whatsoever. Second reason could be you just have bad fish tank mates. So, for instance, betas. Some get along with other fish, some don't. If you take them and put them in a tank that is full of, say, angelfish, most likely they're not going to get along with each other. Or take male beta and put them in with another male beta, they're not going to get along with each other. They're going to fight. They're going to get hurt. They're going to get sick. And they'll probably end up dying. Or, for instance, some people, for some reason, try to put small fish in with, like, Oscars. Well, of course, the Oscar is going to end up eating the smaller fish. So if you just don't have good tank mates in with each other, there again could get stressed out. One could eat the other one. One could just beat up the other one. And you have issues with them fighting, which again will lead to stress and, of course, injuries. And that could just end up with your fish dying or disappearing. Third one is this one is not actually common. At least I hope it isn't actually common. Hopefully nobody does this, but I have heard of people doing it before. It's just taking a freshwater, or for instance, taking a freshwater fish and putting it into a saltwater tank, or a saltwater fish putting it into a freshwater tank. So it's putting the your wrong type of fish into the wrong type of water. So again, take like a freshwater beta and stick it into a saltwater tank. Well, of course, that beta is not going to make it. Same thing, you take poor little Nemo, a clownfish, saltwater clownfish, stick them into a freshwater tank. Well, of course, they're not going to make it. Now, there are some exceptions to this if you acclimate them. Guppies could actually survive in salt water. Mollies, which are actually brackish, can do good in salt water. Certain fish that are actually normally freshwater can go into a saltwater tank if they're acclimatized very, very well and done correctly. Uh, but usually you don't want to be sticking freshwater fish into saltwater fish into freshwater. That is a big no-no. Fourth reason here is going back to water parameters. So now this might be, again, if you just stick your fish into the tank, water parameters could be way different. Could end up killing your fish, like we talked about in number one. Other thing could be just over time if your fish are dying, you want to check on your ammonia, check on your nitrites, and check on your nitrates. If any of them are high, that can of course kill your fish. You could actually have too hot of water or too cold of water. If you take a fish that should be in around 80 degrees, stick them in a tank that's somehow only like in the 50s or even 60s, over time that can lead to stress, which can lead to death. Or put like a goldfish, a cold water fish that should be in 60s to around maybe 70, and stick them in an 80-degree tank. Over time, that could actually end up killing them. So you want to make sure that your water parameters are good. Or if you have something like actually shrimp that are very, very So they're very, very susceptible to high nitrate. That could, and then your tank does have higher nitrate in it, that can end up killing them. So your water parameters just being too high, or again with like temperature being too cold or too high, just water parameters being too far off can end up killing your fish. Number 5, and this is very common with betas, especially, and same with goldfish, is just having too small of an aquarium. So you don't want to be sticking your beta into a fourth of a gallon, half a gallon tank, or goldfish, which get even bigger, into a little fish bowl. Just having the wrong type or the wrong size of aquarium can cause, again, stress. That's a big thing here, is stress, which again over time can end up killing your fish. So just make sure you do your research for the type of animal, type of fish that you're getting, and put them into the correct size aquarium. Alright, changed over tanks here to my other beta. So number 6 can be overfeeding your fish. So overfeeding the fish, dumping too much food into the tank, or what some kids like to do, dump the entire bottle of fish food into the tank. This can, of course, raise your parameters, ammonia, nitrate, whatever. That, of course, and again, as we already talked about, that can, of course, kill your fish. So overfeeding your fish is very much a bad thing. Remember, their stomachs are about the size of their eyeballs, so they're not very big whatsoever. So don't need to go crazy with fish, feeding your fish. Again, I know a lot of kids like to do that. Again, some of them dump everything into the tank. But yeah, just make sure you're not overfeeding the fish, because that, of course, leads to waste, which leads to ammonia over time, which is a bad thing. Number 7, I think we're on number 7, is not doing water changes. I used to work at a pet store, and all the time I'd get these people saying, well, I've never done a water change in the last 20 years. My fish are doing okay. Well, that's just called pure luck. I mean, unless you have a very well-planted tank similar to what I have here, you gotta do water changes. Otherwise, your fish are gonna die. Again, doing water change gets rid of the ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate, which again, over time will build up, and over time will kill your fish. So not doing water changes is a very bad thing, and that's probably one of the biggest killers of fish, is not doing water changes. Or if you do water changes and you're just using pure tap water, and you're not treating said tap water, that's also very much a bad thing, because there's a lot of bad stuff in tap, or that can be in your tap water depending on where you live, that can kill your fish. So make sure you're doing water changes. It'll keep your fish tank nice and healthy. Alright, and then this is a added one, we already kind of talked about it, but I just wanted to say it one more time, is parameter fluctuations. We somewhat talked about this. So that is mostly to do with, what I'm talking about is mostly with the temperature, is if your tank is usually at, say, 78 degrees, and you do a water change, and you use water that's, say, 60 degrees, because you use very cold water for whatever reason, or 50 degrees, and you just, do a normal water change, you do it correctly, whatever, but you're using very cold water when your fish tank is usually very warm, that decrease in water temperature can end up very easily end up shocking your fish, which again can kill your fish. Or doing the opposite of that, if you have a cold water tank that's, say, normally 60 degrees, and you add in very hot water or warm water that's even, say, 70, 80 degrees, again, that spike in water temperature can stress out your fish, put them into shock, and end up killing your fish. So you want to make sure that your water temperature is not changing too much. Another problem that you can have is not intentionally doing this, of course, but if you, for instance, I used to live in a, sorry, let me retry that. So I used to live in a dorm, for college, and my dorm did not have AC. It would be, during the daytime, almost 90 degrees in there some days, at least in the 80s. And then overnight, it would cool down. Then in the morning, it would rise up again. So that constant fluctuation can actually cause fish stress, again, which of course can, as we've been saying throughout this entire video, can cause your fish to die. So you want your temperature to remain pretty well constant, because even a few degree increase or decrease suddenly can put your fish into shock. Alright, hopefully this was somewhat helpful. Hopefully I did not mumble too much there. Thank you guys very much for watching. And if you guys have any tips on how to keep your fish nice, healthy, and alive, let us know. And also other things that I have probably missed, because I know there's a whole bunch more stuff that can cause your fish to die. Leave a comment below. Thank you guys very much for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next vid. Have a good one. Goodbye.